Hi, and welcome to English-Fabule. Are you learning English? Great. Let's learn English with a very interesting story. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment. Let's get started.
For the first time in 20 years, the United States passport is no longer in the top 10 most powerful passports in the world. This news was very surprising. Just a little over a decade ago, in 2014, the U.S. passport was number one. It was seen as the best travel document, opening doors easily everywhere. Now it holds 12th place, the lowest it has ever been. This historic fall from the top is not just about numbers. It shows much larger changes. It tells us something important about America's place in the world today. The document that once allowed easy travel to almost any country now has less power. While America's passport became weaker, new countries rose to the top. Nations like Singapore, South Korea, and Japan now have the world's strongest passports. Singapore is currently number one, allowing its citizens to visit many more places without a visa. These countries have become strong by building good relationships and working well with others around the world. The story of how America lost its passport power is a sign of bigger shifts. It shows how decisions made inside a country can change how it is seen and welcomed globally. This book will explore the reasons behind this decline and what it means for America's future. 2. Why passports are important. A passport is more than just a document. It shows how strong a country is in the world. We can understand this better with something called the Henley Passport Index. This important index ranks all the world's passports. It checks how many countries a passport holder can visit without needing a visa beforehand. If you can go to many countries easily without a visa, your passport has high power. This is what we call passport power. But why is passport power important beyond just travel for fun? It is much more than that. A strong passport is a clear sign that a country has good relationships and many friends around the world. It shows that other nations trust it. This trust often comes from strong diplomatic ties, good economic partnerships, and a general feeling of security and stability within the country. Thus, a powerful passport truly reflects a nation's influence and how it is seen globally. This kind of power helps people in many practical ways. For business owners and entrepreneurs, it means much easier travel to different countries to make deals and grow their companies in new markets without delays. For students, it provides simple access to educational institutions and universities abroad, allowing them to join international study or research programs. Families also benefit, as a strong passport can act as a valuable safety net. If there are political or economic problems in their home country, it offers options to relocate more easily to a safer or better place. It gives choices for healthcare, education, or just a higher quality of life across borders. Christian H. Kalin, who started the Henley Passport Index, explained the bigger meaning. He said that a country's passport strength signals a major shift in how countries move and influence each other. He noted that countries which are open and cooperate with others grow stronger, but those that rely only on their past advantages are left behind. So, while a passport is a small book, it tells a big and important story about a nation's position and respect in the world. 3. Why America's passport is weaker. The fall of America's passport was not a sudden event. It happened slowly, with many small changes over more than 10 years. These changes added up to a big difference in how easily Americans could travel the world, pushing the passport down the global rankings. One clear example was Brazil. In April 2025, Brazil started to ask for visas from U.S. citizens again. Before this, Americans could visit Brazil without a visa. Brazil made this change because American citizens need visas to visit Brazil. The Brazilian government said it was about fairness, or reciprocity. If Brazilians need a visa to enter the United States, then Americans should need one to enter Brazil. This meant Americans had to apply for an e-visa and pay about $80, planning at least 15 days ahead for their trip. This small change was a clear sign that things were different. Another important change was China's new rules. In recent years, China made it easier for people from many countries to visit without a visa. More than 40 countries, including many in Europe and South America, could now visit China for up to 30 days without a visa. But the United States was not on this list. While people from Germany or France could travel to China easily, Americans still needed to go through the visa application process. This showed a change in global relationships, where the U.S. was left out. Vietnam also updated its visa-free list and did not include the United States, while offering easy access to many European and Asian nations. These individual decisions, though small, added up to make the U.S. passport weaker. The main reason for America's passport becoming weaker is what is called the reciprocity gap. This means the United States expects to send its citizens to many countries without a visa. However, it does not offer the same easy entry to people from many other countries. For example, Americans can travel to 180 places without a visa, but the United States only lets people from 46 countries enter without a visa. This big difference makes America one of the least open countries in the world when it comes to welcoming others. Other countries noticed this large difference. They saw that America wanted visa-free travel for its citizens, but did not offer it in return to their own people. This made countries like Brazil say, "No more." The message was clear. If America wants preferential treatment for its travelers, it needs to offer the same treatment to others. This imbalance is not sustainable in a world where fairness and equal treatment are becoming more important in how countries deal with each other. This fundamental problem of not giving what you expect to receive has hurt the U.S. passport's strength. 4. New rules for visitors. Visiting America became much harder for many people in recent years. The country made strict new rules for visitors. These changes were part of policies under President Donald Trump's administration. The rules included travel bans, higher fees, and strict checks at the border. First, new travel bans were put in place. In June 2025, the Trump administration announced a ban affecting 19 countries. Most of these were in Africa. This meant people from these nations could not easily enter the United States. The ban restricted entry for many foreign visitors, citing security concerns. It showed the world that America was making travel more difficult. Next, the cost to visit America grew much higher. One big change was a new visa integrity fee of $250 starting in October 2025. Most people applying for a non-immigrant visa, like tourists or students, had to pay this. This fee was added to the existing $185 application fee. So, many visitors paid $435 in total for a visa. For a family of 4, visa fees alone could be over $1,700. This fee mainly affected travelers from Mexico, India, China, and parts of Africa and Latin America, creating different levels of access. Also, the ESTA fee for many European travelers nearly doubled from $21 to $40. Some travelers faced even greater costs. People from 7 African countries, including Mali and Tanzania, had to pay very expensive visa bonds. These bonds ranged from $5,000 to $15,000 on top of other visa fees. Travelers paid this money to the Department of Homeland Security. They would get it back if they left on time. However, for many, like a teacher in Malawi, paying $10,000 just to visit was not possible. This policy showed who was truly welcome and who was not. Finally, visitors faced harder questioning and searches at the border. Throughout 2025, officers often asked more aggressive questions and searched electronic devices like phones and laptops. These searches increased significantly. Officers could examine all content on these devices. Travelers, even American citizens, reported intense questioning, sometimes about their political beliefs or President Trump. Some with valid visas were still held or denied entry. These strict checks, ordered by the Trump administration, made many travelers feel unwelcome. 5. A different America. The way the world sees America has changed a lot. For many years, America was known as a welcoming country. People looked to it as a leader and a friend. But this picture has become different. This change is partly because of new ways America started to deal with other countries. These new ways were often called America First policies. Under the Trump administration, the focus was strongly on America's own interests. This meant that America sometimes moved away from old agreements or worked less with other nations. This made some relationships around the world less strong. Other countries felt that America was not as interested in working together as before. Because of these America First actions, America's image began to look less inviting. It was no longer seen as a warm and open place for everyone. Instead, it seemed more strict and even unfriendly to visitors. This shift made many people feel that America is closing its doors. It damaged America's soft power, which is how much other countries admire and want to follow or cooperate with a nation. This change in image was clear to see across the globe. Other countries noticed this change. They started to react to America's new rules. A key idea in global relations is reciprocity. This means that if one country acts in a certain way, others might act in the same way back. So when the United States made it harder for people from many nations to enter, those nations often decided to make it harder for Americans to visit them. For example, if the U.S. asked for new, higher fees or strict visa applications from certain countries, those countries might also introduce tougher rules for American travelers. They might require Americans to get visas when they didn't need them before. Or they might ask for special bonds or extra checks at their borders. Mali, for instance, responded to U.S. visa bonds by imposing similar requirements on American visitors. This was a clear sign of how other nations felt about America's policies. Now, American travelers can find it more difficult to visit certain places. The world has clearly responded to America's choice to be less open. This means American citizens may face more questions, more paperwork, and higher costs when traveling abroad. This shows how changes at home can really affect life for people traveling outside their country. The image of America as a welcoming nation has faded for many, replaced by a sense of caution and distance. This new view of America has a real impact on how easy it is for Americans to travel the world. 6. New top countries. The world's best passports now belong to countries in Asia. Singapore is number 1, letting people visit 193 places without a visa. South Korea is next, with access to 190 countries, and Japan is close behind with 189 destinations. These countries did not get strong passports by chance. They planned carefully. Singapore, South Korea, and Japan worked hard to build good friendships with many other nations. They focused on economic partnerships, which means they traded a lot and helped each other with money matters. They showed the world they could be trusted. For example, Singapore is a very important financial city. Many countries want Singaporean business people and tourists to visit easily. Singapore also has good rules, and people trust its passports. Japan and South Korea also have strong economies and good relationships across the world. They were able to get visa-free travel to many countries, including China, which shows how well they work with others. Their strategy was about being open and working together. The United Kingdom's passport also changed greatly. It was once the best in the world, just like America's. However, after Brexit, which was when the UK left the European Union, its passport became weaker. The UK passport now sits in 8th place. Brexit made travel harder for British people in some ways. While the UK focused on its own issues after leaving the EU, other countries moved forward and made new travel agreements. This shows that focusing only on your own country can make your passport less powerful. Countries that choose to build strong ties with others often find that their citizens can travel more freely. This is a big lesson for many nations around the globe. 7. The cost for Americans. The weaker U.S. passport brings real costs for everyday Americans. One big problem is fewer tourists coming to the United States. In 2025, experts said the country would lose over $12 billion from less money spent by international visitors. This was a significant drop of more than 20% from earlier peaks. Other financial experts also revised their forecasts, suggesting a loss of nearly $30 billion in total economic activity. This means a lot less money moving through the American economy. These fewer visitors directly translate into fewer jobs for Americans. Estimates suggest that around 15,000 jobs in the travel and tourism industry could be lost each year. This impacts people working in hotels, restaurants, souvenir shops, and transportation services across the country. For example, visits from Canadians, who are often close and frequent travelers, have dropped sharply, falling over 25% in the middle of 2025. This downturn has also meant fewer guests for hotels in northern states, like Maine, where occupancy rates went down. Julia Simpson, the head of the World Travel and Tourism Council, clearly stated that while other nations were making visitors feel welcome, the United States seemed to be putting up a closed sign. Travelers around the world are choosing destinations where they feel more invited, and the U.S. tourism industry is feeling the negative effects. Because of these growing issues, many Americans are now actively looking for a second passport. They want more freedom to travel and more security for their future. Companies that help people get citizenship or residency in other countries have seen a massive rise in American clients. One firm reported that the number of Americans seeking their services increased by 400% in the first part of 2025 compared to the previous year. Another advisory group noted an even larger increase, with requests from Americans surging by 1,000% since 2020. Americans are now the largest group applying for special Golden Visa programs. These programs allow individuals to gain residency or even citizenship in another country by making a significant investment, often in real estate or local businesses. For instance, Portugal has seen a 72% increase in approvals for its Golden Visa program, with Americans being the main applicants. For an investment of around $500,000, Americans can secure residency in Portugal, which then gives them the right to apply for citizenship after 5 years. This also allows them to travel freely across many European nations. People are seeking these second passports as a practical backup plan. They see it as a form of insurance against any future political or economic changes in America. One expert said that having multiple citizenships is becoming a normal idea for many Americans. This trend clearly shows that Americans are seeking out more personal travel freedom and exploring alternative options in an increasingly uncertain global landscape. 8. The future. Can America's passport become strong again? The answer is yes, but it needs clear and purposeful steps. The country can improve its passport strength, but this means making big changes in its rules and how it works with other nations. First, America must be more open. It needs to offer visa-free travel to more countries. Right now, many countries welcome Americans without a visa, but the United States does not always do the same for their citizens. This difference is key. To get back the easy travel its citizens once had, America needs to show the same kindness to others. If America makes it easier for more people to visit, other countries will likely do the same for Americans. This would build stronger friendships and make travel fairer. Second, the government should lower the high costs for visitors. In recent years, fees for things like the EST travel permit and other visas have gone up a lot. These higher prices, sometimes hundreds of dollars, make it very hard for many tourists and business people to come to the U.S. This loss of visitors hurts America's economy, leading to billions of dollars lost and fewer jobs in travel. Making these costs lower would send a message that America values its international visitors and wants them to come. Third, America needs to rebuild trust and good relationships around the world. A strong passport is a sign that a country is respected and seen as a good partner. To regain this trust, America must actively work with other nations, support world organizations, and show that working together is important. This way, other countries will feel more positive about America and its people. This takes time, but it is necessary. The fall in the passport's power was not an accident. It was a result of choices made by America. Policies that focused on strict rules and staying apart from the world created this situation. They made America seem less welcoming. The future of the passport is not set in stone. It is a path America can choose to walk. Will America choose to be more open and cooperative? Or will it continue to look inward? The world is watching to see what decisions America will make. If the country acts to be more open and friendly, its passport can surely become powerful again. This choice will greatly affect America's place in the world for many years ahead. What changes do you think are most important for America to make to strengthen its passport?
Hey there! Just a second before you go. If you learned something new today, please give this video a like, write your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe to the channel. It only takes a second, and it really, really helps to create even better English videos for you. Your support means the world. Thank you.